Beautiful morning, my dear children. Welcome back to our English class. So, children, are you all ready for your test? Yes, we have chapter 9 and 10. In chapter 9 is Tea is the wind and nothing more, and chapter 10, The Hen. Now, take out your textbook and your classwork with you. Now, we shall revise. So, first we'll be having reading comprehension, as you all know. Okay. So, first you will be given any two stanzas from the poem Tea is the wind and nothing more, and you will be asked some questions to write. Okay. So, first we should read the stanza. Tea is the wind and nothing more by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. Is some visitor? I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. So this is the stanza from the poem Tea is the wind and nothing more. Now shall we read the questions? So children, here questions will be given. You have to read the question and answer properly. Okay, first one. The incident narrated in the poem takes place on a bleak dash night. Fill in the blanks. What is the name of the month? December. Okay. Second one. What is the meaning of the word dreary? Dreary means bleak or boring. Next one. Frame sentence using the word remember. This you all will do. Okay, you can write any sentence you want. I always remember to thank my friends, or any sentence you like. Okay. Fourth one. What was the name of the radiant maiden? Yes, it is. What is the name, children? Lenore. Okay, the maiden's name is Lenore. Fifth one. What is the name of the poet? Name of the poet is Edgar Allan Poe. In sentence you have to write. Okay. So next Roman letter will be write the synonyms of. First one, dreary. What is the meaning of dreary? We already learned now. Bleak or boring. Next, lore, folklore. Bleak, gloomy. Ember, ode of a dying flame. Next, morrow, tomorrow. Surcease, end. Token, sign or indication. And thereat means there at that place. Next one, bronze leghorn, a breed of hen. Next, exotic. Exotic means foreign. 11th one, pedigree chickens. Chickens of good breed. Okay. Next, an abstainer from the egg habit. One that did not lay eggs. 13th one, to leave off, to stop arguing. So next one is obstinate delusions, which means stubborn and false beliefs. 15th one, sane. Sane means sensible. 16th one, glowering. Glowering means looking angrily. 17th one, lightning rapidity. That means great swiftness. 18th one, awfully vexed. That means thoroughly annoyed, disheartened. Okay. Next Roman letter, read the sentence and answer the questions. First question. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping. What was the narrator doing before he nearly fell asleep? So before he nearly fell asleep, the narrator was thinking about some of the strange and forgotten stories he had read earlier. Okay. Next, what did the narrator think when he heard the tapping of the door? So when the narrator heard the tapping on his door, he thought it must be a visitor who came to visit him. Second question, eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly had sought the borrow from my books surcease of sorrow. So what had the narrator sought from his books? The narrator had sought an end to his sorrow from his books. That is, by reading the books, he wants to end up to close his sadness. Okay. Next, what was the reason for the narrator's sorrow? What was the reason for the narrator's sorrow means sadness. Okay. So the narrator was sorrowful because he had lost his lover, a young maiden named Lenore. So next Roman letter answer the following. So what had Dora sold to Jane and how had it spoiled their friendship? So Dora had sold Jane Martlet an exotic breed of hen at a very high price, and Jane thought that she would get good value for her money in the form of a large number of chickens of good breed. So however, what happened? The hen did not lay any eggs, and this issue means this problem spoiled their friendship. Okay, second question. According to Clovis and Jane, what would make one go mad? So, according to Clovis and Jane, if a person was too orderly and did the correct thing in the correct manner and in the same surrounding for a long time, it would make the person go mad. Third one. What, according to Clovis, was wrong with Sturridge? So, according to Clovis, Sturridge was such an orderly person that he had become a nuisance who would get delusions about any guest that visited them. Okay. Fourth question. According to Clovis, who did Sturridge think Jane Martlet was and why did it bother him? So, according to Clovis, Sturridge thought that Jane Martlet was Queen Anne who should have been dead long ago. So, he said it bothered him because he saw Sturridge glowering at Jane and muttering that she should be dead. So, why? Because he thought that she was Queen Anne. Okay, children. Fifth one. What did Clovis tell Sturridge to do and what happened as a result of it? Clovis told Sturridge to take an old basket hilted sword hanging on the wall to Jane Martlet. So he also told Sturridge that the Jane wanted to copy the inscriptions on the sword and it would be helpful. So if he took it without the sheath means cover. So however, as soon as Sturridge went to Jane with the sword drawn, she ran out of the room with great swiftness and later cut her visit short. Next Roman, let us think and answer. The ultimate plan of Clovis to drive out Jane ultimately proved to be unnecessary. Why? So, what will be your answer, children? Clovis had made an elaborate plan to drive Jane Martlet out of the house before Mrs. Sangrail's other friend Dora came to visit them. So, he asked his butler Sturridge to carry an old basket hilted sword without the sheath to Jane Martlet, who wanted to copy the inscription on the sword. So, as Sturridge went to Jane with the sword drawn, she ran out of another door in the room with lightning speed and left Mrs. Sangrail's house with half an hour. So, however, the whole plan proved unnecessary since Dora wrote the very same day that she postponed her visit to Mrs. Sangrail's house. So, ultimately, all the plan of Clovis came to an end. So, the grammar part is punctuation. So here we are going to learn about comma. So the comma is used to show a brief pause in the sentence and it is used to separate words or phrases in a list. So as in the case, we had coffee, fruit buns and oranges for breakfast. So after coffee and fruit buns, we have to write a comma. Next, after certain words that introduce a sentence. Yes, parking space is available. Yes, miss. We know the answer. You will be shouting no. So, after S, what you have to do? You have to write a comma. Next, however, you have to pay 10 rupees per hour for the space. So, after however, you have to put a comma. Next, the third point. To separate some parts of a sentence that may not be the main part. Okay, example, Mr. Terence, the school headmaster, is a very strict man. So, after the name one comma, next, he is a schoolmaster comma, he is a very strict man. That is the main part of the sentence. Okay, next, to separate parts of a sentence that can stand separately on their own. Example, the professor is very knowledgeable and all the students are in awe of him. Here, the two parts. The professor is very knowledgeable and all the students are in awe of him can stand on their own. That is, I can have Vattal knowledgeable or I can have all the students are in awe of him. Both convey as a correct meaning. Okay, so we can use comma there. Next, to separate one part of a sentence that depends on the other part for complete meaning. Example, if you have any problem, please do not hesitate to ask for help. So some other sentence, if I say, if you didn't learn for the test, comma, please take out your classwork, learn and then write. We'll be saying sentences like that. No. So that time also you can just write a comma there. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can just learn and then write. Next, insert commas in the sentences wherever necessary. See, some sentences are given. You have to read out the sentence and you have to write comma. Okay, so I would like to shop for shawls, jackets and handcrafted artifacts when I visit Kashmir. So where you have to insert comma after shawls, jackets. Okay, next sentence, third sentence I am reading. When you reach the blue signpost, turn right and keep going straight. So after signpost, you have to write a comma. Next, what is the fare for the journey and what about the hotel tariff? So after journey, you have to write a comma. Next sentence, Sarah works in different department of the same office where Sam works. So where you have to put a comma there? After the same office. Next, Rahu shouted loudly and Tipu followed suit. So after loudly, you have to insert a comma. And the last one, clearly it was Abbas' mistake. So after clearly, you have to put a comma there. Okay. So the next Roman letter is determiners. So words such as a and the, my, their, this, that, some, any other, each and every are also called determiners. That is, determiners are articles, demonstrative adjectives, possessive adjectives and adjectives of quantity. So they are used before nouns to indicate whether you are referring to something general or in specific. Okay, and now sentences are given. Now you have to circle the determiners in the sentences. So I told you it can be an article like a, an or the, demonstrative adjective like this, that, these or those, and possessive adjectives like my, your, our, their, his, her and its, and adjectives of quantity. What is quantity? Allow a few, many, much, each, every, some, little, several and both. Okay, now here you have to circle the determiners in the sentences. So first one, and each separate dying ember brought its ghost upon the floor. So what all words you have to circle now? Each, its and the. Second one, a knock on the door woke me up. Article, the article. So and the you have to circle. Next, could you please buy some milk for my cat? Yes, some, adjective of quantity. Next, my, it is possessive adjective. So you have to circle both the determiners. Next, the tenant had little money left after paying the rent. So the, little and the again. Fifth one, I found my way to the new school without any problem. So my, again it is possessive adjective, the article and any is adjective of quantity. Okay. Next, Sheena does not have enough money in her purse. So enough, again it is adjective of quantity. Next, heard, this possessive adjective. So both we have to circle. Seventh one, could you get my files from the office? My and the. Next, these mangoes are so delicious. So when you have words like this, that, these and those, yes, it is demonstrative adjective. So it is also a determiner. So you have to circle these. And the last one, both parties seemed reasonable and settled the matter quickly. So both and the. So next we are going to see what is a prefix. So a prefix is a letter or group of letters added before the word to make a new word. So many prefixes make opposites of words. So make the opposites of these words using the given prefixes. So here first one, using in or I'm. Okay. So words like polite, fertile, perfect, appropriate, proper, material and activities given as number one. So what will be the opposite for polite? Yes, impolite. Fertile, infertile. Perfect, imperfect. Appropriate, inappropriate. Proper, improper. Material, immaterial. Activity, inactivity. So the next one is using the prefix an or dis. Okay. So now first word, pleasure. So what prefix can we add there? Yes, displeasure. Then for clear, unclear. Similar, dissimilar. Respect, disrespect. Comfortable, uncomfortable. Like, unlike. Do, undo. So for your test like this, words will be asked and you have to use the correct prefix. So next grammar part we are going to see models. So what are called models, children? Yes, words such as can, may, must, could, would, should and ought to are called models. So why do we use models? We use models along with other verbs to express intention, certainty, ability, possibility, permission, suggestion, advice, obligation, strong belief and something done habitually in the past and conditional statements using would. Okay, so to express all these things, we use models in sentences. So now fill in the blanks here with the suitable models, and there can be more than one model for some sentences. Okay, so like few sentences which are given in your textbook, in your question paper, you will be having sentences and you have to choose the answer wisely. Okay, children. So first one, you dash quit smoking at once. So when it is in order. Okay, so what you should use when it is strongly you have to do something. What you have to use? Yes, very good. Must. You must quit smoking at once. Then, dash I swim in the river. Can I swim in the river? Okay. Next, when we lived in Ichapur, we dash often take a boat ride on the river Ganga. We would. Next, I am so late, my mother dash be worrying about me. Must be worrying about me. Next, Mr. Brown dash verify details about the tenants before giving his house on rent. Mr. Brown should. Next, the first day at a new school dash be quite difficult. Could be quite difficult. Seventh one, our science class dash be held outdoors today. Would be held outdoors today. Okay, so you will be getting questions like this. So it is in your hands to think well and answer promptly. Okay. Thank you, children. Prepare well for your test. Okay. Do well.